What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday morning. As we progress through this year that has just flown by, it won't be long before it's winter time. It's already starting to get a little colder in the morning. You know, this year has just flew by, it seems like. But make sure you're prepared for the winter time. If anything ever happens bad in the world, with all the prepper stuff, I think the winter time would be the worst time for it to happen, just because you can't grow anything. It's cold. You know, there's so many potentially bad things to happen during the winter time. But you need to prepare for the season prior to it actually showing up. You know what I mean? It's just crazy how I see people not prepared for winter up until winter happens. You don't go and buy a generator when your power goes out. You buy your generator before your power goes out. You know, get your tires checked on your vehicle. Make sure your four-wheel drive is working. Make sure you have backup heat in place in case your power goes out. You know, make sure you have enough wood. Things like that. Like, make sure you have extra spark plugs laying around for your generator, or if you have a solar, whatever, however that works. I don't know. But it's crazy to see people don't prepare up until the last minute. Could you imagine like a fighter or somebody that wants to be in a fight, and they don't practice, or they don't prepare, they don't train until it's time to fight, like 30 minutes before it's time to fight. I used to do retail arbitrage. I used to resell online a while ago. And when I first started, I would buy stuff and I would immediately put it online to try to sell. Some things I could do it with, but most of the stuff I couldn't. Because I would wait until things go on clearance and I would buy it. And what I learned is, when summer's over, everything on clearance I would buy up because they're trying to get it out of the way. You can't sell pool stuff during the wintertime. Just like I couldn't sell snow things for the snow, like little snowboards and two inner tubes and stuff like that. I couldn't sell that in the middle of summertime. But I had to prepare for the following season. Everything happens in seasons with us. Whether you're selling or preparing, you need to do it beforehand. You need to stock up beforehand. Get your stuff squared away before the event happens. Like, that should be common sense for people, and I don't understand why it's not like just common knowledge to prepare before things happen. And then people want to sit there and complain and, get all nervous and scared and, oh, what do I do? You should have done this 3 or 4 months ago. But it's not too late, so you still have a little bit of time before winter is here. There's Amazon. I know a lot of people don't like Amazon, but you can get crap off of Amazon, get it really cheap, get it really quick. Learn to do stuff on your own. People online, Craigslist and the Valley Trader, if you have like a newspaper, or ours is called the Valley Trader, people give stuff away all the time. People give free firewood away all the time. You can buy firewood really cheap. Make sure you have a heating source that you don't have to rely on the grid for. Everybody talks about the candle and the terracotta pot trick, but that you need a lot of those to work. In extreme situations, when it's 10 below and that's all you have, then that's all you have. It will warm it up a little bit, but you're not going to be sitting around the terracotta pot all day. It doesn't warm a room up that significantly amount that much. You need wool clothes, get wool socks. Like what I'm doing right now is I am sighting in my rifles and I'm sighting in my bow and everything for the year. I'm doing that stuff now, so when hunting season is here, I don't have to worry about it. It's already taken care of. I'm cleaning my weapons. I'm making sure everything is squared away, ready to go. I'm getting my clothes ready. Things like that. I'm doing it beforehand. Like I go up to the spring once a week to fill up my water, for the week. I don't wait till I run out. I do it when I get a little lower. When I have one or two jugs left, I go and refill the rest of them up. That way I'm constantly rotating them. You do that with gas tanks too. I got a couple gas tanks and I rotate through them. The new one I put in the back, the one in the front I use, and I continue to rotate them. And I keep it up to date. You're supposed to do the same thing with canned food, man. How many people have canned food in their pantry and they buy something and it stays in their cupboard for years because you buy new stuff and you just set it in front of it? You have to actively be rotating your stuff. You have to actively be using and making sure your stuff is up to date. You have to continue to do that. And that's with anything in life. You have to use it. Keep using it. You don't read your Bible on Judgment Day. You don't start believing in God when you're at the gates. You do this stuff prior to the event, that whatever event it is that's going to happen. The power went out right now. You know what I mean? You don't go start prepping right now. You prep last year. But the winter time, like I said, I think that's the worst time for anything to happen, just because there's only so much you can do about the cold. With the evictions happening, with all this crazy stuff happening in the world, more people are going to be wanting to break into houses to stay warm. There's more illegals in the country that they're going to be cold, and they're not going to care that you don't want them in their house, or they're not going to care that you don't want them there. They're not going to care about you saying, hey, you're not allowed to be in here. They broke into the country. Do you really think they're not going to break into your house? Not everybody, but I mean, we can see on the news how people are breaking into apartments and everything. Cities are being overrun with people that legally aren't supposed to be there, and it doesn't really seem like they care too much about the laws. You need to prepare your house for the winter time, like getting the plastic. We put plastic on the windows every year to help insulate them. It's an older house. We do that. I buy that stuff prior to the winter time. I get my house ready for the winter prior to it becoming winter time. Make sure your shovels aren't broken, that they're not loose. Make sure you know where your snow shovels are at. Like I said, make sure your tires are good for the winter. Make sure your stuff works before you actually need it. Make sure you have extra food in your house in case you can't go anywhere. It's funny when the Weather Channel says, oh, there's a potential of 2 or 3 inches of snow, and you go to the store to get something, and there is 500 people in there, and they're all buying the milk, the eggs, and the bread. Like, that's the main thing that they're going to need during a snowstorm. And then 2 days later, all the snow's gone because it melted. It's funny to see, but not really, because the mentality of most of the people were just, oh my God, what do I do? You don't want to be caught up in that. You don't want to be caught up in the Black Friday mentality of just grabbing everything because you're in a panic mode. And that the Boy Scout slogan is be prepared. And I guarantee you more than half of the country isn't prepared for anything. And that's the scary part. Because you're going to have to see your neighbor struggle, or you're going to help them and mess with your supplies. Whatever you do is on you. But when you tell people to prepare for however long, months, weeks, years, and they say, oh no, that's crazy, I don't need to do that. Like, I got gas masks for my family, for everybody in the house, when that train derailed up in Pennsylvania, I think, or Ohio, and it had some kind of chemical spill. That kind of woke my eyes up to maybe I should have a gas mask. And nothing ever came of it down here where I live, thank God, but I said, oh man, I should probably get something about that. And I should have had it before then, but a lot of times it takes an event to actually happen. The people down in Texas, they never had to worry about ice freezing their, anything in their house. It doesn't get cold down there. But the one time it does, all hell breaks loose. People die, people freeze. It takes us as humans something major to happen in order for us to say, okay, yeah, I should probably prepare for that. The same thing financially, man. People go their whole lives without saving, and then when they get old and retire, oh, I'm broke, I have nothing. But if you invest right now in land and preparations and financially, if you prepare right now for anything, in the future, you'll be set, you'll be good to go. But the mentality of people today is, I live right now for the moment. Why buy things that I need in a month or a year or a decade when I could use that money right now on things that I want to do? And then get mad and they don't understand what happened. It's crazy. It's insane to see people. I don't know, I guess we all have different mentalities on things. But especially during the winter time. Winter is my biggest worry, just because I have kids and I drive for a living and I hate driving in the snow. And the wintertime is the busiest time of the year for me. And it's been like that for 10 years. I used to like the winter. I used to love the winter when I was a kid. I used to like Christmas. And now I don't really can't stand it anymore, just because of how busy work is. And then plus driving in the snow all the time is just crazy. And the amount of people that I see on the road that should not be on the road is even crazier. You'll have a foot of snow outside and you'll see somebody in a Prius trying to go to Starbucks. It's insane to me. But you need to look out for those people too. You have to prepare for the dumb people thinking they can handle driving in the snow. You gotta be able to handle that kind of thing. Be on the lookout. You need defensive driving. You have to prepare for everything, and it seems like it's so overwhelming. So I get like that sometimes. I gotta do 20 different things, and I don't know what to do first. And your whole mind, you kind of just shut down. I don't know what to do first, and I get that. I've been there before. But you just need to start with one thing. Start with the terracotta pot. That's really cheap. It's like $2. Buy a couple candles. Then go out and buy a little bit of wood. Then, go buy some wool blankets. You don't buy everything at once, man. When I started canning, I didn't buy everything at once. That was, a good bit of money for everything. I bought a couple things of jars. I saved up and bought my canner. Then I got the utensils for it. And then I got some books on it. And as I was buying my stuff up, I was online researching how to do everything. I was preparing to use my stuff before I had my stuff. I learn how to do things before I actually go do it. I study things before I actually go try it. That way, when I'm in the situation, I have some kind of idea on what to do. And you need to do that with everything in life, especially wintertime. I don't know how many times I can stress that. Wintertime is, that is the time to see if your stuff is either going to fail or not. But just wintertime, especially right now with the severity of what's going on in the world, these next few winters, whether it's this one with the election, or just whatever else is going on in the world, all the craziness that's going on, these have me worried the most. How many parents aren't ready for it for their children? Like, make sure you have extra food in your house. Let's say the grid went down, there wouldn't be any school. Your kids would be at school, or they would be at home more. You'd be using up more food, obviously. Make sure you have extra for them. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day.